Hi everybody, this is Amy. I'm here to do my presentation on Emily Dickinson in music for you since I couldn't make it last night. This is actually a picture of my piano from home. It's from the 1930s, which is pretty cool, and it's kind of the reason that I wanted to study Emily in music. I've been playing piano since I was 5, so it's a passion of mine, and I particularly enjoyed studying Aaron Copland's music just because he does do a lot of his composing with piano. Um, I couldn't track down his sheet music. I'm still going to try because I think it would be really fun to learn how to play. But anyway, we'll start with Copland, seeing as I'm talking about him already, and we'll move on from there. So Copland really tried to echo Dickinson's lyric language, and he did that with abrupt leaps in the vocal line that matched her unique dashes and pauses, which is something that I found out about on poets.org. And I just think that's fascinating that he spent so much time really studying the language and the punctuation of Emily and then matching that with his vocal lines. And I don't want to get too technological in my music speak, but just in the way that he pieced his works together in terms of their tonal qualities and dynamics and things like that. He actually visited Amherst and spent some time in Emily Dickinson's room so that he could really get a feel for the atmosphere and absorb that and really reflect her well in his music. A Guardian article I found talks about how Emily Dickinson is probably the poet set most often to music in the history of poets. By the time we hit the 90s, there were about 1,600 sound settings available, and that number has likely increased. And Copland is responsible for setting 12 songs, 12 poems to music. And he also took those 12 pieces and then orchestrated 8 of them, so there was a fuller sound and more instruments being utilized in those performances so that he could reach a wider audience. I also think it's interesting to consider that he made a lot of these pieces of music before Johnson's 1955 edition of the Accurate Updated Poems was available. So he did all of this work with material that isn't the edited and newly compiled material we have today. Sandra Brown is an artist who has covered a lot of Copland's music, and you can find her performances just by YouTubing Sandra Brown with an E. I didn't really enjoy her renditions of Copland's songs. That was just a personal opinion. There was something in her voice that just kind of set me on edge. You might feel the same way about Rachel here, who I'm about to let you listen to. Anyway, that was just my personal opinion on Sandra Brown. But here is Rachel Schutz singing Heart We Will Forget Him, and I'll let you listen to this. I think she really did a great job with just kind of capturing the winsome quality of this poem. So that was Rachel. Next we have Zika Valero, I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I stumbled across his rendition of I'm Nobody, How Are You? And loved it. I think he really captured the childlike, fun aspect of this poem. I'm Nobody, Who Are You? Really kind of makes me think of Dr. Seuss. It's just sort of a very zany, outgoing, I'm not articulating myself very well, but it's just a poem that is very kind of spontaneous and inquisitive, and I like that. Bolero is a Brazilian artist, and he's a reggae Grammy winner. And this song is only about a minute long, so I'll let you listen to it in its entirety, and I hope you like it, because I really did. It's also contingent on the internet still working.
I'm nobody. Why are you nobody too? And there is a paralyzed open town. And your eyes, you know. How to read to somebody, how believe like a frog. To tell one's name, till I look to admiring boy. How dream to be somebody, how believe like a frog. To tell one's name, till I look to admiring boy. I'm nobody, are you? Are you nobody too?
Doesn't that just make you want to dance? Like, I love that. I think it's really cute. The next video we actually looked at earlier this semester. It's from Illinois State University, but it's one of my favorite performances covering one of my favorite poems. The Moon is Distant from the Sea follows two relationships, the one between the speaker and his or her lover, and then the one between the moon and the tide. There's this overwhelming sense of yearning in the poem, and maybe even a haunting obsession with love and being led and pursuit and just the ebb and flow of control in a relationship. And I think that's really reflected in the ethereal sound of this choir. Because we've already looked at it in class, I won't play the whole thing for you, but I do just want to let you listen to it again because it is gorgeous. So there's that. I apologize if you can hear my neighbor playing his guitar now, sort of appropriate for the theme, but slightly obnoxious. Anyway, I again, just thought that they captured the tone of wistfulness in that poem really well. There are several other videos I found that I won't make you watch here, but if you're interested, Simon Holt has a performance of The Ribbon of Time, and Leah Kennedy did How Much the Present Moment Means. And those are beautiful too. And if you haven't read The Moon is Distant from the Sea, I don't think we covered it in class, but it really is a beautiful poem that's worth checking out. I think all of these settings really reflect the versatile nature of Emily's art, and they add to the montage we're all contributing towards as Emily Dickinson scholars in our own way. I think that we can debunk that reclusive myth that's clung to her all these years and capture so much attention, and we can simply celebrate her as a gifted poet with complex artistic design. She spent so much time poring over her work, and I think it's really appropriate that we today, go through those poems and make our own interpretations and contribute to just a picture of who she is. And I think for me now from this class, I can more accurately represent who she is to the people around me that enjoy poetry. And I can share a more holistic picture of her because I know more about her and I know who she, not who she really was, because there is some amount of mysticism still attached to her, but I have a better idea of the woman she was and why she lived the way she did and why she wrote the way she did. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. You can shoot me an email. But yeah, happy YouTubing. Also found another cover of Hope is a Thing with Feathers because I couldn't get that old song out of my head and it was driving me crazy. So I found another one from a guy who really is sweet. I don't know if the quality of his song is that great, but if you want a different tune to go with that song, there is one out there. So do a little internet scouring and you'll be able to find that version too. On that note, goodbye.